And by the way, if you wait till spring to list, now you are in a highly competitive situation.
That's right. Lower competition in the winter months.
That's right.
As long as your house is priced right, it looks good, feels good, smells good.
Yep.
You've got a great shot at moving the property.
So let's not gloss over what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good, smells good.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
My wife is big into the sense of the season and all that stuff. She was like, I walked into this hotel and she was like, it just smelled luxurious.
Yeah.
And it's one of the senses. It's somewhat subconscious,
Yep.
but that is real.
Yep.
And so forget the season, forget what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe the best advice you'll take from this episode is if you're going to sell, make that joint smell good.
Yes. Don't overdo the air glade.
Oh, yeah.
Don't overdo that.
You can overplay your hand.
Yeah. Look good, smell good, feel good. We are live from the Anchor Real Estate Advisors podcast studio.
Podcast studio and lounge.
This episode is sponsored by Anchor Real Estate Advisors
And
Mountain Mansions.
And we'll throw a third one on there. Thy Neighbor Builders.
Then we'll throw another one in there.
Yeah.
Anchor Holding Co.
Anchor Holding Co.
So if you're a real estate agent and you need a holding company,
That's right.
You don't want to pay fees, contact us. We can put you in the holding company.
Right.
That's an intro to the podcast.
Well, I mean, really, it's ad time.
It is.
I mean, it's been ad space.
That's true.
So that was our first ad.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you're watching this and you want to be featured on this podcast, reach out to Johnny or myself. You might have an opportunity to sponsor this awesome setup that we have here.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's legit.
It is legit.
Yeah. You got to get started. You know, what did we do? You got to hit record.
That's it.
And then so if you want to make fun of us for our setup, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's going to get better and more fun.
All right. It's only going to get better.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome
To the Anchored in Real Estate podcast. In this show, we're going to cover all things home and real estate. We are realtors.
So it's not realtor.
No, that's right. It's realtor.
Realtor.
I
No,
leave out the A, but I de-emphasize the O.
Yeah.
Realtor.
You say it correctly. That's all that matters. Yeah. Speaking as the president of 400 North.
That's right.
One of the things I tell all of our new members is it's not realtor, it's realtor. And I make them practice.
Yeah.
I digress. Welcome to the episode.
Welcome to the episode. So I'm Johnny Dugan. I'm always joined by my co-host and anchorman himself, Cody Chimbars. We're here to entertain and educate you. If we can get lucky here. Get lucky? Yeah, again.
Leave that section in.
Yeah, for sure. If you've already enjoyed this show so far, you can find more of this on Cody is at Anchorman86 on the Facebook. I am at Mountain Mansions GA on Facebook and Instagram, so you can see what we're doing. We're thrilled to have you with us. We're genuinely excited. We're generally excited.
I'm generally excited.
Generally excited. Hope you are too.
Yes.
But we do have we're going to do this really quick bang, bang, bang topic. We're calling the Mythbusters episode because is there an industry with more myths around outside of politics that just has like more myths surrounding like what is happening and what's not happening and what's possible and what's not possible. Mm-hmm. And so I think a big part of our job is really just when people come to us, it's just kind of like, no, here's the ground truth of what's happening, or no, that's not possible, or yeah, that's actually more possible than you might have thought, or whatever. And then, and it is an evolving thing, but we know that getting the truth from experts can be helpful.
Absolutely.
So the first myth we have, and this is a good time to talk about it, is the wintertime is not a good time to sell a house. Now, be careful here. We're not out going, it's always a good time to buy. It's always a good time to sell. And then you'll just hear a bunch of rhetoric about why. But the idea that it's just a terrible time to sell, explain why that is a myth. And I've got my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. So I'll give you a 60-second, just my snippet. A lot of people have that misconception, and that's all I'm going to call it. Myth, misconception, that you don't want to sell in the winter months. Now, when I go on listing appointments, especially as we come into the end of Q3, starting Q4, I do make it a point to bring that up with my sellers and say, here's the reality. There typically is, it could feel like less activity in the winter months because we have holidays, right? And a lot of people are traveling and schedules get busy. But the reality is there are still serious buyers in the market. There's relocations happening. There's new schools happening or a school move or, you name it. So someone needs to move a family member in to have some cohabitation or co-living space. And so there are still serious people that are in the market. And, along those lines, sometimes sellers will say, can I still decorate? And I say, of course you can. But let's get pictures before you do it. But the reality is, there are people that are in the market that need to purchase. There are people that are going to come to the market.
Life still happens during the fall and winter months.
Right. Absolutely. So I just squelch that myth right there. Squash it.
Yeah. Crush it. Now, the way I see it is another way to sell is say it's always a good time to buy or always a good time to sell. That's not true. There are advantages and disadvantages to each season, and you approach it accordingly. So when you sell in the fall or winter, you're not going to get the same amount of traffic, but that might be attractive to you as a seller. I don't want people tramping through my house, 3 or 4 days a week. I don't want to have a bunch of open houses, all that. I just want to be able to list my house and have 1 or 2 people a week come through. I've got a little time and, and that's okay. So if you want a slower paced sale, the fall and winter time, it's not like your house is dropping in value because of it.
Right.
It's just it will probably be a slower pace, but that doesn't mean you're going to get less out of it. Another thing is you can decorate for the holidays, and if your home looks beautiful decorated for the holidays, that doesn't hurt.
No,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Decorating for the holidays is a great way to show how livable your home is.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there's a lot of people that will be listing in the springtime.
That's what I was just going to say. Get out of my head, Johnny.
So the idea is you will be a step ahead of them.
Yes.
People will when the people are kind of really what we see from a like an online perspective or online presence perspective. That first week of January, second week of January, we start seeing the hits start ramping up.
Yep.
People are starting to go, all right, it's a new year. I think this is the year, or, springtime's going to come around the corner, and people start looking, and there's your house ready to go. So, I'm not hardcore like a barn burner, it's just like summertime, because it's not just like summertime. Right. Yeah. But there are advantages to it. Right. Generally slower paced, you're going to be ahead of the curve next year. And really, there's not other than the pace, there's not much of a disadvantage. It's not like there's a drop of value. Now, are you going to get multiple offers? Probably not, but we're not really much of a multiple offers type situation. And by the way, if you wait till spring to list, now you are in a highly competitive situation.
That's right. Lower competition in the winter months.
That's right.
Right. And so as long as your house is priced right, it looks good, feels good, smells good.
Yep.
You've got a great shot at moving the property.
Right.
Now, moving can get a little hairy around the holidays, but typically we see some grace period with maybe some temporary occupancy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that myth is squashed.
So let's not gloss over what you just said. Looks good, smells good.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
My wife is big into the sense of the season and all that stuff. And in fact, she was like, I walked into this hotel and she was like, it just smelled luxurious. Yeah. And it's one of the senses. It's somewhat subconscious, but that is real. Yep. And so forget the season, forget what we were talking about. Yeah. Maybe the best advice you'll take from this episode is if you're going to sell, make that joint smell good.
Yes.
Right? Make it smell good. You get more attention.
Don't overdo the air glade.
Yeah.
Don't overdo that. But
you can overplay your hand.
Yeah. Look good, smell good, feel good.
There you go.
Yes. All right. What's the next myth we're squashing?
Next one.
Or maybe not. Maybe we're just shining light into it.
Interest rate is tied to the Fed rate. So I've heard a lot of people say, I hear the Feds are going to drop interest rates next month, so I'm going to wait till next month and watch the interest rates drop. So explain some of the technicals behind interest rates and the Fed rate.
Yeah. So really, I mean, we're just going to give you facts here. The reality is the Fed rate is short-term rates. It's your car loan, it's your credit card rate, it's all those short-term, very, very low, fewer years on the actual repayment process, right? So if you're looking for a new car, you do want the Fed to drop the rate because that's going to be directly affected.
Right.
What the Fed doesn't control is your long-term rates, which is your mortgage, your 30-year, your 15-year, 20-year mortgage rate or mortgage payment timeline. And so, these consumers that are saying, and there's a lot of them out there, right? And that's why we wanted to address it in this episode, that we're waiting until the interest rates drop. And they think that the Fed rate is directly correlated with the mortgage rate, and it's not. Now, investors look at what the Fed rate is doing, but at the end of the day, they're making their own calculations. They're determining their own interest rate, so to speak, because they are the ones that are lending out that money, right? It's either your personal investor, maybe not personal investor, that's not the right word, but your investors that actually hold these loans versus the government, where you have the FHA, the VA, USDA, they're holding the loans, they're fronting the money, right? So it's not a direct correlation. And the other thing too is, if you're waiting, like everyone else is waiting for the interest rates to drop, what is that going to do to the competition?
That's right. There's some correlation, not causation, which means that when the Fed drops, you don't go into your lender the next day and expect it to be drop that same amount. There's just not a direct correlation. In fact, we were talking about the Fed's dropping, and they're somewhat related, but not directly. And we were talking about it in our last brokerage meeting. We said, hey, the Fed might drop, quarter point or whatever. And so we had a mortgage lender in there, and she said, well, they're already factoring that drop in to the current rates. So don't expect it to drop then. It's actually already come down to be ready. People are getting locked in today, are getting locked in expecting that rate. So that essentially, or some little dip or correction. The bottom line is, from a myth perspective, don't look at what the Fed's doing and say, that's what I'm going to bank on or try to time to.
Yes.
Now, granted, if they drop it to zero, yes, interest rates will go down. We saw that. But the other thing was that they were also buying mortgages or mortgage-backed securities, and they stopped doing it. It's a whole nother lever that the government was pulling in order to be controlling the interest rate and all that. But really, the mortgage industry is kind of an independent thing.
Yes.
Now, if they can borrow for less from the government, yes, they can charge less, but it's not a direct correlation between the two. So just don't wait till next month because you heard the Feds are going to drop the rate. It won't affect your rate directly one way or the other. Better just go get pre-approved, see what rate you can get, and that's where you're going to be. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and we have actually, Alicia with Johns Creek Mortgage, she was quoting, I think she told us at Tuesday's meeting, she had a FHA at like 5 3/4.
Yeah.
And then a conventional was under 6.
Yeah.
Which we haven't been under 6. I think there was one time last year, or maybe this year, that we were under 6%.
Right.
So...
And that was, that was before the Fed dropped, and it hasn't dropped, and their rates haven't dropped since.
Right.
So again, it wasn't directly tied to.
Right. Yep.
All right. The third one. This one's going to have a little more heat behind it. The myth that for sale by owners, they net more money.
Oh boy.
So why are there for sale by owners? Because they'll say, man, I don't need to pay anybody. I'll just do it myself. And here again, we're not going to self-grandize and promote our industry to no end to where there's just no way to go.
Yeah.
Other than us, I have sold a house myself before. I was an agent. Yeah. But the truth is, I ended up paying for representation because it was all part of the deal.
Right.
And so, the idea that a for sale by owner is going to net more money. So there's a couple of things that a couple benefits to an agent, and I want to break this down without really pointing to myself, kind of as an industry, and I'll use some other professionals as an example. So there's two primary things. One, there's all kinds of statistics out there that will tell you that when something's sold through through the MLS or through a major function that gets your house out to millions of people, when it's sold through that, and you get the quality marketing and everything, and for putting the cost of an agent aside, it sells for more money. Okay, so we know there's a hard gap between for sale by owner closing prices and realtor represented closing prices. Okay, again, forgetting the cost for a second. And so then you go, all right, well, that value difference, well, can I save more than what I would be getting? So at the end of the day, the seller wants to net the most that it can.
Right, of course.
And so, of course, part of our big sell is, well, you're going to sell it for more money than you would just trying to sell it yourself. That's statistically proven because the marketplace that we put your home on and the way we market it is going to generate better sales. Okay. Yep. All right. But then there's the cost.
Yes.
And what is the value to the customer? And there's two main value adds. One is we're doing all the work. Okay, so you're paying a professional to do the work for you. Now, I will say it like this. Do you need an accountant to file your taxes?
I mean, where I'm at, yes.
What
right now,
does one require? Does the
No.
The government does not require you to. Do you, if you need to do something in the court? Do you need an attorney?
No.
You don't need an attorney. You can go down there, fill out the paperwork, and you can file a lawsuit against your neighbor all you want, and you just do it. And but. Do you have an accountant?
Do I? Yes, I do.
Yeah. And if you needed to file something, you would probably hire an attorney.
I would.
Okay. And the reason is there's two big things. One, you're paying them for their expertise and to get you what you need. Yes. The other thing, and I'll use the accountant because it's the simplest example. I'm paying my accountant a certain amount of money because he's going to look at my numbers and say, well, what about this? And did you account for that? And do you have receipts for that? And I go, yeah. So I pay him. Well, I'll just for easy math, make up numbers. I pay him $1,000 so he can save me $3,000 on taxes. He pays for himself, and he did it for me. I would have paid $1,000 just to not have to fill out the paperwork. Right. And regardless if he saved me money or not, I'm happy to pay him for the work and for the the professional service. Yeah. Agents do that too, and then we make up then we pay for ourselves by getting the extra value. So you get the services that we provide, which is hopefully you don't have to do a whole lot other than prepare your home for sale. And at the same time, we'll net you more money.
Yes.
Those are the two value adds. And so for sale by owners, I've had several for sale by owner ultimately clients say, hey, I tried to sell my house and it was just a pain. It's just a complete pain in the butt. It was trying to manage people. I listed it on Facebook and, I got a lot of tire kickers and, they're just looking around and, I'm coming home early from work just to have them not show up, things like that. And eventually I go, maybe I'll just, do you mind just quoting me or, whatever. And then they end up turning into a client. But the point, what we're supposed to be doing is hopefully we're going to net you more. But if nothing else, at least we've netted you as much and we've provided the service for you.
Right. Yeah. I've kind of sheltered them from everything that goes on. Right.
Yeah.
In my personal experience, I mean, I've had friends that have, wanted to sell their house for sale by owner and I would help them. Right. And I still offer to help people that want to do for sale by owner because at the end of the day, if I'm helping somebody, if I'm giving you the background knowledge and I'm giving you a small sliver of my expertise, then you're going to trust me. Right? And I cannot tell you how many for sale by owners that whether I went out and showed the property, maybe I've done an assessment and given my 2 cents of how they could improve maybe their presentation or just their exposure. Right. I think the number one thing that for sale by owners really don't calculate is the amount of exposure that having a listing on MLS really brings up.
Right.
Yes, you could put it on the Z word, right?
Yeah.
You could do that. And there's a lot of consumers that go to the Z word.
Yeah.
They're also being sued right now by multiple different lawsuits. They have multiple lawsuits against the C word.
Right.
So, but the reality is they'll go and I say, listen, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you this whole for sale by owner strategy that I have, that I give out, and you're going to do this, and I want you to implement it, and then I want you to run it for at least 2 weeks, and then you report back to me and tell me how it went.
Yeah.
Okay. And so fast forward, I'll give you a sneak peek of what the conversation looks like. Cody, I've had 50 agents reach out to me and say they have a buyer. Or that they're willing to list my house for X percent, or they want to come over and meet me and do my listing presentation. Next, we've got investors, right? Investors are lowballing the shorts off of people.
So a for sale by owner sign equals deal. So that's another perception. I think there's a perception. It's valid or not. When there's a for sale by owner, the buyer knows you're not paying anybody to help you, and therefore they just slice that right off top. But, hey, you're listed at 500. It's probably $500,000, but you're not paying anybody. So I know if I offer you 485, you're going to net something similar. So they're going to cut right to it.
Yeah. Well, and then the third one that is going to reach out to them are the looky-loos or the nosy neighbors. Right? And like you mentioned in just a few minutes ago, like, hey, I just took off work to go show this person. They no-showed. Right? Now you're having someone walk through your house that may or may not be pre-approved. Right? It's something that we do is we screen our buyers that are coming through, at least through the agents that they use. And the reality is I'm going to go on record, okay? As a broker, I've been doing this 10 years. You don't need a real estate agent to sell your house.
That's right.
You don't.
You don't need an accountant to file taxes.
You don't, right?
You better.
You can go to a local closing attorney and they could draft up the forms, and you could absolutely can do that. And we've had people say, oh, I've bought and sold 5-10 houses. Like, I don't need a real estate agent. But the reality is the market shifts so very quickly. The laws change within real estate, like what can happen and what can't happen. And at the end of the day, that's why most for sale by owners are converting into using an agent, whether that's a real estate agent or a realtor. They find that the process is overwhelming. It's daunting, right? You have to learn how to do marketing. You have to learn how to do photography. You have to learn how to stage. You have to learn where to put these your pictures. How do I get it out? Now there are other options out there where people are a flat fee or discount broker, right? You get what you pay for, Johnny.
Well, a discount broker or flat fee really referring to someone you pay them and they'll put it on the MLS for you. But at that point, you're still doing all the management of it. So you've hit more eyeballs, but you still have all the same issues with people coming. And I think what's kind of glossed over is there's processes in place that we have that screen buyers, that screen. Screening buyers is a generic term for saying we have methods in place to keep the randos from calling and coming through your house. I mean, we've got electronic keys, so not anybody can just come to the house. We've got a lot of the folks are agents. If they're not, then we would come meet them.
Yes.
You don't have to rush home from work. We build that into our schedule. Again, I don't. As an agent, of course, I'm going to advocate for using an agent. When my last home that I sold, I used another agent. They were there. I was not. And I used them because they could be there. They could service. They could open the door. They could get the pictures taken. I couldn't. I wasn't there. Right. And so was I capable? Yeah, I was capable, except I have somebody right there to take care of it all. And so, I try to liken it to, other professions that provide the service. Don't be scared of paying someone to do a job for you.
Right.
So that's half the value. And then the other half of the value is, statistically speaking, you're going to get more. We're probably going to pay for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the general thing. And by the way, you didn't have to mess with all them goofballs.
That's it.
Let us mess with the goofballs.
We mess with them.
Big Poke, you owe me a Coke.
Yeah. All right. So we're running out of time.
Yep.
The camera's about to die.
Yeah.
So we need to
That's
land the plane on this Mythbusters edition.
Yeah.
Listen, if you guys like this type of content, drop some myths in the comments. Like, let us know. Tell us, maybe you have a question. Maybe we'll address it on a podcast episode or maybe we can compile a few other myths and tackle them and whether debunk them or just shine some light on them.
I can promise you, if you comment a question at this point in our podcasting career, we will address it.
We will, because we're looking for, we want to hear from you. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if this was helpful, make sure you share it with somebody and whether that's, a family member, friend, whatever. But, at the end of the day, we're here to provide that real estate knowledge that, combined, we've got close to 40 years.
If you go all the way back to my early real estate days, got my license 2005. I took a little gap there when I was traveling all over, but 20 years active real estate.
30 years.
Yeah, 30 years.
Combined experience. Put our wisdom and all the heartache that we went through.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll help you with it.
Yeah, we've been banged in the head with pots and pans enough. I mean, we've got this stuff in our minds.
Yeah.
All good. Yeah. All right. Come back to the next episode. Talk to you then.
This episode is sponsored by Anchor Real Estate Advisors
And
Mountain Mansions, Georgia.
that's my Graham's handle.
Mountain Mansions.
Mountain Mansions, and we'll throw a third one on there. Thy Neighbor Builders.
Then we'll throw another one in there.
Yeah.
Anchor Holding Co.
Anchor Holding Co.
So if you're a real estate agent and you need a holding company,
That's right.
You don't want to pay fees, contact us. We can put you in the holding company.
Right. Well, we happen to know there's a lot of agents that right now are just putting a little pause on it, and they can come in. They can still keep their license here. Not incur the monthly fee, and then when it's time to ramp it up back,
they can switch over, or they can refer stuff out. And still,
that's a good point.
They could get money. Like we've had one of our agents made $10,000 this year just from referring.
Yeah.
That's an intro to the podcast.